Hi Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope for December 2023. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Now, I'm going to look at what the planets are doing this month, how they interact and what energy they create amongst themselves. And the point of these horoscopes is to try and figure out where you're supported naturally and where you aren't, and to focus on those things which are easy and positive so you get the most out of them, and to avoid or to work through some of the potential challenges. And the first thing that I notice is that we've got Saturn and Neptune. They're both in Pisces in your first house at the beginning of the month. So what you may notice is that your sense of self, you're very comfortable, and you may have this huge sense of connection to the higher realm, your own creativity, your own way of looking at the world. And you may have this unusual sense of, I want something to change just for the sake of it. I want to engage with things which may not be particularly meaningful. I want to do something just for fun. I want to try something out and see how I go. And that's what I'd like you to lean into, particularly at the beginning of the month. The strongest element of fire, and it's an opportunity for you, just by exploring and not immediately associating meaning or an outcome to what you're doing, it may allow you to discover something that really brings you a lot of joy, and then it can lead to something more meaningful. But the point, first and foremost, is that you're able to discover something new, and at the beginning of the month, you're able to really feel that inner fire and to have fun and to enjoy yourself. On the 2nd of December, we have Mercury, the communication planet, that goes into Capricorn, and it's in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. And Pluto is also in your 11th house. Pluto is the planet of transformation and change. It's in Capricorn. And again, I'm getting a strange sense that I've been working towards things for so long. I want to take a break. I don't want to take everything so seriously. I want to just exist and for that to be okay. And again, it's ironic that if you give yourself permission to do that, and if you give yourself time and space to just enjoy, the irony is that it will lead to something productive. So at the beginning of the month, I would take it easy, be nice to myself. Venus goes into Scorpio on the 5th of December. Venus is the planet of creativity and love and beauty. It moves from Libra in your 8th house of institutions and other people. So a focus on working well with others and being responsible and considerate. Now it moves into the 9th, which is again more personal. It says, what can I explore? What interests me right now? So if you've been focused on other people, your family, colleagues, and you put a lot of time and effort into making all of that work very well, you pull away from all of that and you get clear on what your interests are, what direction you want to move into, and it's much more about you independently and saying, this is something that's fun and enjoyable and interesting, let me pursue it. So again, I think it's very important for you to keep it simple like that and to give yourself a bit of a mental vacation, because it sounds like you have been trying very hard and the planets are kind of conspiring to say, you deserve to have a break too. You don't always need to be working towards something. Sometimes it's okay to just exist and to look around, and that's more than enough. And to be in the present moment, 6th of December, we have Neptune, the water planet of dreams and intuition. That moves forward. It goes direct for the next around half year. So Neptune has been in retrograde. When an outer planet goes retrograde, or a personal planet, it appears to go backward. When it's direct, it appears to move forward. With Neptune now moving forwards again, you'll notice that you see things in your environment, in the world, which really kind of represent the dream and give you a new goal that you can work towards. So you see this period of exploration and just looking around is actually very significant and useful, because it'll help you set new goals for the rest of December and moving into 2024. On the 12th of December, we have a new moon in Sagittarius. That happens in your 10th house of work. We've got a lot of energy in your 10th house of work at this time. So we've got the new moon, sun and moon conjunct. Moon goes pitch black and pulls lots of energy in to recharge. But then we also have the transiting midheaven, which is your work. Mars, which is ambition and drive, and Ceres, which is a sense of abundance, and there is plenty in this area. And all of those in Sagittarius, the centaur, will encourage you to pick something to move towards a certain goal And it gives you all the fire and the motivation to say, make a fresh start in an area that is unfamiliar, that's enjoyable, and that seems like an adventure. So any Pisces who are a little bit fed up, or you feel stuck in the sense of, I've been doing the same thing for a while here, and I've really been earnest in my attempts to get things right. The planets are kind of encouraging you to look at something else, to put all of that aside, and to embrace the new. And even that, as I'm saying it, it may feel like, wow, I've been trying so hard, I haven't got the outcome yet that I wanted, and now I'm going in a completely different direction. Am I wasting my time here? My response to that is absolutely no, you're not wasting your time. You're bringing more fire and energy into your own system, your own spiritual being. And this little detour as such really pays off because it gives you a lot of energy, so that further down the road, if you do revisit things that haven't worked out, you'll be able to take that final step to make that, to add the final piece of the puzzle where you may have been stumped before. It's like if you do a course or something and you study all of it or most of it and you put a lot of time and effort into it, but by the time you reach 80%, or 90% of the coursework is done and I've still got 10%, you can create, or what sometimes can happen is that those last 10 or 20% then seem very daunting, and you're like, oh, even though I've done most of the work, I'm not going to finish this. If that has happened, which I think has happened to all of us, then taking this detour of just having fun and exploring new stuff will mean that when you do revisit the thing that is almost complete but not quite, you'll be able to finish it without the, anxiety or reluctance that's usually there when you just push through and say, I've done 90, I've just got to finish it. Also on the 12th, we have Mercury, the communication planet, going retrograde until the 1st of January, and it goes retrograde in your 11th house. So it allows you to reevaluate what you want in future and to let go of things that don't serve you, even if you've already invested a lot of time and energy. Oh, okay, so this makes it easier for you to finish something that doesn't work. If I'm in a job where I've really put 3 years into it, and the plan was to climb the ladder and to get to a position I've never had and to be supported by that company, but 3 years in, it still hasn't happened, nothing has changed, but the carrot is still being dangled, keep going, eventually it will happen. At some point you've got to, well, you don't have to, but at some point it's like, are they just kind of fobbing me along here? Are they like just promising things and dangling a carrot? Or if I keep working really hard and doing my best, will I eventually give up? Will I eventually get where I want to go, right? That's a very personal thing, and both situations are true. Sometimes they will just tell you what you want to hear to keep you on board. And sometimes it does take, I suppose, 4 years to get to that position. But here in December, especially around the middle of the month here, around the 12th, you'll be able to understand at a core level, this is either going to work out and it isn't. And it then gives you the freedom to say, if it's not working out, it doesn't matter if I've invested 3 years. I'm not going to pump more time and energy into this because deep down I know, for example, that it's not going to work. So I'm going to dismiss that and go in a different direction rather than waste more time and energy. And that's a really difficult choice. And that's the kind of choice you can only make if you have some level of certainty here. And December provides you with that. The outer planets don't change signs. So you have the time and the peace of mind to kind of look into these things in earnest without being distracted. So you can trust your own decision-making process. And that continues until the 23rd of December. We've got Mercury in retrograde, so it retrogrades back into Sagittarius in your 10th. So it gives you new ideas and a bigger perspective of other options when it comes to your career. And it means that if you've hit a dead end, you'll immediately find another way through or forward, but you don't have to just keep doing what you're doing because nothing else has presented itself. So that's not an issue. On the 26th, we have a full moon in Cancer, and that happens in your 5th house of what you love. So that is very comforting. The moon rules Cancer, so it likes being in that placement. And in your 5th house of what you love, It makes your relationships easier. You come across as very positive and you're easy to get on with and you're generous and giving. But also, it opposes the Sun in Capricorn, obviously because it's a full moon. And the transiting midheaven is in Capricorn. They're both in your 11th house. So how do I take care of myself and what is the best way forward in terms of my job, my career, what I'm doing here? And it really allows you to stop wasting your time if you feel you have been, and to support yourself through the transition and to get to a better place. 30th of, so really Pisces, you guys are your own counselors this month, and you're really practical and able to make tough decisions and say, okay, we accept that we wanted this to work out. It hasn't. It's not ideal, but it's okay. And we don't now have to stop and fall apart because of that. We can shift gears and move forward and continue to move forward. So it's really loving and positive. 30th of December, we have Venus in Sagittarius, also going into your 10th. So you'll have loads of ideas and you'll be super motivated about what's next. So it's really leaving the past behind and getting excited about the future. The best is yet to come here. And also on the 30th, we have Jupiter, the lucky planet. That also starts to move forward again. And it's in Taurus in your 3rd house. Taurus is practical circumstances, earthy stuff, and Jupiter is growth and good fortune. So by being motivated, so let's say I'm motivated by bicycles, okay? I've always been just focused on my career as an accountant, but suddenly for some reason, the topic of transporting myself through my own, power is like interesting to me for whatever reason. Then if you actually look at bicycles and the different types and the shops around you and how they're made or whatever it is, it will lead to some sort of practical opportunity that allows you to engage with it in a more meaningful way and to bring that area of interest into your life in earnest, in a practical sense. So please allow yourself to give that gift to yourself. If you celebrate Christmas, I'm allowed to go off task for a little bit. I'm allowed to explore new things that make me happy. And the funny thing about it is that may lead to something really concrete and something really different in my future. Jonathan likes bikes as well. Good. Okay. So that's what I get for you here in December. I hope you have a wonderful month. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, scroll down a bit until you get to a button that says book your reading. Click on that to get in touch with me. In my personal readings, I look at your birth chart, which I draw up by taking your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. And then if you have any questions around your role in the company you're in, or what's coming up in your relationships or health or family situations, what area would be best to kind of develop and grow into, or if you have specific questions around locations or moving or finance or income or anything at all, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. I hope you have a wonderful month and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.